Welcome back, everybody. This is the AFC West previews. Now, the Denver Broncos, they got rid of Jim Fassel after one season, after an abysmal year, and they decided to bring Doug Marrone in. Yes, they have Sam Bradford, sophomore quarterback, who just had a terrible, terrible year. It was rough. I mean, that doesn't look as bad, but then look at that 25 interceptions. Just could not get it together, could not get the wins. He does have Ahmad Bradshaw coming in. Now, they did have Deuce McAllister, who has been good for them. Actually, he was like maybe the only bright spot of this team. But he is getting older now. So as you can see, he's been a 1,000-yard rusher. Almost every, I mean, these don't count, but he was over 1,000 yards. And the reason why these don't count was because I switched from Madden 20 to Madden 22. So these first few years sometimes aren't true. But 900s, 1,300, 16 touchdown years. He's been pretty good. But of course, he's, I think, 32. So he's getting older. Bradshaw from New England is a great addition. You have A.J. Green giving Bradford a good target. Wes Welker, who's been a good target. I think he lost his dev trait because they sucked so bad. We have Curley. We have Ramses Barden, Miles Austin, and I think that's Marcus Smith. Forgive me for not knowing his name. We have Bubba Franks, the veteran tight end, Garrett Mills, Schumann. On the O-line, other than Ferguson, I mean, they do have Jacob Bell, but they have Lawson, Cook, and Carpenter. And so, again, no one here is really standout other than Ferguson, and then Bell's pretty solid. Then they have Brandon Graham on defense, the only real pass rusher they have. They do have Maben and Merling, both high picks, but both just not going to cut it for them. Marcus Trufant at cornerback, Nolan Carroll, is that Ricardo? Yeah, no, Richard Marshall at cornerback, as well as we have Bowman. They have Adam Archuleta, Stewart, Raheem Moore. I think that's Marcus Griffin. Then there's Stephen Tuluch, Farwell, Vanden Bosch getting up there in age. What is he? He's 32 now. So Denver, they don't really stand out. They don't have much talent. They have Phil Dawson, Eddie Johnson. I would not doubt them being the worst team in this division again. I don't think they did enough to really separate themselves, especially when they have these other two that I'm going to be sharing right now. The San Diego Chargers are probably going to be the front runner for this division. I expect them to be number one. They have been one of the best teams in the league, best season teams. Main reason for that, of course, is they have quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers has been electric. We see Edwards as the backup. They did trade for Larry Johnson last season, and they do have Beanie Wells. They've been the bruiser backs for them. They have Lee Evans. They do have Devin Hester, who is super quick. Santonio Holmes is basically Rodgers' best target. Darius Watts, who came from the Rams, and then there's McKinley. Antonio Gates was a Charger, along with Klopfenstein and Taylor. On the O-line, they're pretty meh. We got Quentin Mitchell there. There's Orlando Franklin, I believe. Baker, Connolly, Sears, and Lang. So mediocre O-line there. Not bad, but also not great. On defense, they have Andre Carter, who's been one of the top veterans for them. Big man, tough guy to stop. Sims, Thomas, maybe some support there in the defense there. I might even maybe move Carter inside at some point and let, this is Arthur Jones, who was a rookie last year, give him a chance to start. They do have Cedric or Chris Houston. I'm not going to click on him. Chris Wilson, Antoine Cason, Brandon Hughes. They also have Harris and Bethia. Safeties, Lieber, Vilma, Levy. So again, they have a decent defense. I don't think they're, again, not crazy good defense, but good enough. 75 overall. They do have one of the best kickers, Adam Vinatieri and Jones. Really, it's Rodgers and Holmes and Gates who increases this team. They really do need a better running back, but they did spend a first rounder on Beanie Wells, and that's where I think they're going to wait that out until his contract's up and then probably move on. Who knows? Cleveland might decide to make a play for Beanie Wells since they got all the Ohio State players because of Jim Tressel. Now we move to the Chiefs, who I think might be second or maybe third, depending on Oakland, because Oakland has talent. But we have Eli Manning and Marshawn Lynch. So two superstar players at quarterback and running back. His option at receiving, Colson should be rated higher, but he just hasn't really progressed, but he's been good for them. And then they did get Roddy White last year. Austin Colley's been sort of the slot guy. They do have Nate Washington, Jericho Cotchery. Now they are going with the Patriot strategy there of having two really good tight ends. They have Dallas Clark, and they went with Kyle Rudolph. So some good tight ends there. Phil Lodeholt, Myers, Pollock, Brian Waters, and even Blaylock. Blaylock could very well replace Brian Waters, which is the plan. And then Jermaine Bushrod at left tackle. So they've got their, let's see, where is he ranked? He's probably 6th. Yeah, he's the 6th best ranked left tackle. So they got a lot of talent on this team. Jason Pierre-Paul and Tyson Jackson on the outside as pass rushers. Pico and Watson there on the inside. Pico, the better one. We see Tim Jennings, Jonathan Joseph, and then they do have Kelly Jennings. They used to have, I think it was Nate Clements. So they had some of the best DBs in the league. This is, I think, Roy Williams. Yep, Roy Williams that kind of bounced around the league a little bit with Dallas, but was the main start. And, of course, Branch. They do have Lofa Tatupu, Nick Roach, and the veteran Keith Bullock. So they are still top-notch defense. I expect a lot from them. This is a Dick LeBeau defense as well. And we see Colquitt and Suckup. So, yeah, Dick LeBeau, he's had some seasons where I considered firing him, and then other seasons that, how could you? He took him to the AFC Championship. But now we're going to go to the biggest question mark. Now, it's not Bobby Petrino. I did change it. I don't know why his name didn't change, but this is Hugh Jackson's Oakland Raiders. And they do have Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan has not played as well. I mean, Joe Flacco has done better with the Panthers, but he does have one of the premier defenses. Where Ryan, 88 X Factor, he has Sean Green, who has run well. There's Shane Vereen, the rookie, and then Travis Henry. James Hardy here has been one of his main targets, one of his best receiving options. However, Hardy is often injured. So like he's 1,300. He was injured this year, the 2009 season. Then he got back to 1,000-yard receiving with 16 and 10 touchdown receptions on good years. Julio Jones was taken by the Raiders, and Matt Ryan is able to have that connection with Julio. They do have Chad Ochocinco, Mike Thomas, and good tight end Vernon Davis. He is getting older, though. He is 27. I mean, I guess that's not too old. I thought he's been higher overall, so maybe he's regressed a little bit. But there's Beluga, College, Brown, Eric Wood, and then they do have Donald Penn, who was a real-life selection. I mean, I guess he was undrafted in real life. Then we have on defense, a little bit sporadic there, Joe Hayden, going to be the rising star. There is Asante Samuel, who's a bit older. They got Michael Bennett, Okoye, McCargo, and Kalimba Edwards. They do have Rude Cushing, who's going to be their star, as well as Philip Wheeler. I don't know why he is just star dev and not higher than that. Then Reggie Nelson and Daniel Bullocks. And for their special teams, they still have Leckler, but they do have Steven Gostkowski, who has been phenomenal for them. So there you have it, the AFC West. I think it's going to be Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos is my prediction for the AFC West standings. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like the video so that we can trick that algorithm thinking that people want to watch this video some more. But thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one.